Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us online today. My name is Zara, for those who don't know me, and especially our agents joining us from overseas. So, a little bit of what's happening in Colombo or Sri Lanka is that currently we are under lockdown until the 30th of August, and we're working remotely. So, in case there might be any connection issues or sound relative technical difficulties, please do bear with us and just let us know if you have any questions throughout the presentation, and we'll be happy to answer them. So before we move on, let me introduce you to your host today, who is known as Anuruddha Bandara or AB. So a little bit about him. He has this passion for the wilderness, for the nature. That is why exactly back in the year 2000, he left his profession and started his own venture with the passion that he had for nature. So over the past so many years, he has grown to be one of the well-known adventure specialists in the island, and that's exactly why we have him today as your host, and he'll be sharing the adventures and all the experiences that he could offer to your guests. So Anuruddh, good afternoon, and over to you. And I hope this presentation will be quite interesting. And do feel free to raise any questions if you have, or even you can simply drop a message in the chat box if you are hesitant to unmute, and I can read them out to Anuruddha.
All right. Thanks, Zara. And Aibowan, uh, may you have long life. And yeah, so I'm here to basically introduce Sri Lanka as a trekking destination, the potential we have, and to explain a few examples of, and basically give an understanding how you can um, promote Sri Lanka in this aspect as well. As you all know, Sri Lanka is well known for our heritage, our culture, our beaches, and since lately for wildlife, highlights like whales and leopards and so on. But when it comes to wilderness experiences or the adventure is concerned, trekking, cycling, kayaking, canoeing, rafting, all this this aspect is also quite big in Sri Lanka. The potential is great, but the awareness is not so great. So probably that's why Vikram has invited me to speak to you today, specifically on trekking. Of course, there are quite a few other areas. Probably at a later meeting we can speak of those, but today I'm going to speak only on trekking possibilities within this 45 minutes to 1 hour. So let me share my screen. Um, give me a sec. Sharing. Share. Present. Right. I hope you can see my screen. Can I have some feedback, please?
Yes.
Right. Great.
Yes, we do.
Yes,
Right.
clear.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Ditlam, for giving me this opportunity to speak about the possibilities. One of the possibilities in Sri Lanka, which I love and passionate about. And as Sarah mentioned, we have been running this company, Eco Team, for the last 22 years. So we have been basically pioneers in one of the things, some of the things in Sri Lanka currently offering to the outside world. And to do that, we have a couple of brands, and Eco Team is our mother company, and under that we have Mahura, high-end wildlife camp brand, and we have Explorer by Mahura, where we go and set our glamping tents inside national parks, mostly in lesser-known places, lesser-known parks. And Ahaspokuna Bushwalks Camp, the first dedicated trekking or the bushwalks camp in Sri Lanka. And we will speak of Ahaspokuna a little bit more in this presentation, as this is dedicated for trekking, this particular presentation. Big Game by Eco Team is also a tented safari camp outfit or a network of camps. And that, of course, we are, that is also glamping, but of course, we are offering it to more value clientele, not to the high end. And Sri Lanka Day Tours is a product where our clients or our agents can book, our partners can book day excursions, particularly adventure experiences from us. Yeah. So moving from that, let's see why I say that why I endorse Sri Lanka for trekking so much. Number one, this is not into any order as such. What I'm saying is, number one is not the most important one, but I'm just going by the order. One of the most important aspects is that Sri Lanka is a year-round trekking destination. Of course, as we have in the South Asia or in the region, there are other trekking destinations as well. But as you know, they are very seasonal destinations. And if you need to climb a particular mountain, or if you need to go to a particular area, so you need to pick that particular month or couple of months, and that's it. But fortunately, Sri Lanka is blessed with a kind of weather pattern where the entire country is accessible entire year. And the second point is about the climatic conditions, the humidity. At the latter part of the presentation, we will see that, though we can do trekking in any part of the country from north to south or east to west, we are mostly offering our trekking experiences in the mountains, mainly because of the climatic conditions, the soothing weather conditions, and the ideal type of humidity. We are talking about 20 to 26, 28, 29, maximum 29 kind of, temperature Celsius. And it's, you can do walks even during the middle of the day. So we have, over a period of 2 decades, we have developed these tracks in a way that anybody can do comfortable trekking in this particular circle or in the region. And as I mentioned, the point number three is about this particular trekking zone. I'll show you where it is. And so there we have a spectrum of tried and tested trails and accommodations where we can accommodate 1 night or 2 nights or 3 nights and do these, offer these trekking experiences, throughout the year. And another big, aspect for Sri Lanka is that, we are able to offer you soft to hard, properly graded trails to suit any level of trekking enthusiasts. We have soft trails, and we have moderate trails, and we have hardcore trails. So, or we can even offer a mixture of such tracks, a kind of a cocktail, kind of a track, over a period of 8 days or 10 days or 12 days, where clients can experience all these three types of trails. And the other aspect, though the properly designated A to B trekking trails are concentrated in this trekking circuit in the hills, you can do many interesting day excursions, anywhere in the country, whether you are in the north or the south or in the hills or the east or the west. You can do 2 to 4 hours, trekking trails in most part of the country. And that is also a big plus factor. You don't have to basically go to a trekking destination per se to experience trekking in Sri Lanka. And the other big aspect is that, this is very much lesser known, this particular aspect I'm going to talk to you, number 7. We have an assortment of multi-day A to B proper trekking expeditions covering the trekking zone. So it's not just, you are starting from your hotel and doing a circuit and coming back. Or it's not just that, you are trekking from one destination towards the other destination, and halfway through you get into your coach or the car and just getting driven. So it's not like that. I'm talking about proper A to B trekking destinations with the different style of accommodations. It could be very basic guest houses. It could be makeshift camps. We are setting up for the groups or the FIT clients, and then they do proper trekking expeditions, point to point, over a period of 10 to 8 days. So we have an amazing collection of these trekking itineraries built during the last 2 decades. And point number 8 is about accommodations. We have accommodations like Ahaspokuna Bushwalk Camp, where these places are very committed for trekking, and at the same time, they have experienced trekkers. The whole place is built around walking and trekking. So they have the naturalists, they have the binos, they have the guidebooks, they have trails developed around those places where a client can get housed in those places and do trekking for a period like a week or two even. So there is an amazing such collection. There is a collection like that when it comes to accommodation in the country. And the other aspect is about the support staff or the backup support that a country can provide. This is very important when it comes to recommending a destination for your walking enthusiasts. So we have an industry where we have trained and experienced qualified staff in evacuation, first aid, survival techniques, all that. And the other aspect is about the student groups. Actually, I hope and pray this aspect will also be open up very soon in the country or in globally. This is completely died down now. The student travel. We have done Duke of Edinburgh Award treks, and then basically expeditions for dedicated for kids. So this is also something we are capable of handling in Sri Lanka, exclusive student groups. And so at the same time, especially this number 10 and number 11 goes hand in hand, especially if you have to do, of course, this applies to adults as well. When it comes to trekking or any adventure, there need to be health and safety protocols well documented. And, if it is a school group, we need to provide all the documentations, checklists, everything, during the designing stage of the itinerary. So we have all that. So what I'm stressing here is that, Sri Lanka is, same as wildlife, same as beaches, same as culture, Sri Lanka is a fantastic destination for trekking as well. Right. So this is the trekking circle or the circuit I'm talking about. Of course, there are 2 destinations just out of the circle, but majority of the places are encircled in this area. So we are talking about Hatton, near Adams Peak. Of course, Adams Peak is also that range is also very good for trekking. We have a destination called Bugawantalawa and Ahaspokuna, Belihulloya, Alla, and Horn Plains. And I'm sure anybody who is telling Sri Lanka is very familiar with these, little hamlets. Maybe not so much about Belihulloya, but the rest of the places are very well known. But these are the places, these are the dots that you can connect in designing your multi-day trekking expedition as well. Or if not, you can basically house your clients in any of these places and do trekking for a couple of days. But outside the circuit, we have Knuckles mountain range, which is very good. We have even, say, 4-night, 5-day trekking expeditions only in Knuckles, point to point. And Singaraja, of course, not so much, but we can very well do 1 to 2 night trekking expeditions in Singaraja. So trekking in Sri Lanka could be basically divided to 2 segments: short day excursions, or short treks, and 2 multi-day point-to-point expeditions. And there's another aspect also, which is which you can tap into. This is the adventure reality show or the so adventure reality show, and then basically high adventure filmmaking industry, or the clientele who are into that. So that is also coming into the multi-day point-to-point expeditions. So I have brought in that aspect also here. So these are some of the examples that we can give you, just a few examples. I will talk about it one by one, some of it, but we are talking about again, I don't speak Ahaspokuna, Bugawantalawa, Knuckles, in that range. So there are names for most of these trails, but not to to avoid any confusion, I have not put those names here. I've just put the kind of destinations, so you can relate to where they are. So I don't speak. You are, I'm sure you are very well aware of the cultural aspect of it, and the aspect that you can do a climb from Dalhouse, or there's this town called Nalatanya. From there you climb up, you come down. So that is an experience that most of you provide. Of course, we can do that, but what we are generally, from trekking point of view, what we are doing is actually from east to west, west to east. We are starting from Ratnapura, from the western side of the range, and we are ending our trail in Dalhouse or Nalatanya. So this is also possible to do as a day hike. You start early in the morning, by evening you will be in Nalatanya. And to reach Adams Peak, there are 5 trails. But the most crowded and the most known trail is the Nalatanya, which is here, and you call it Dalhouse as well. And from there you climb, you go to the peak, and you go back. So that is the general trail that anybody would do. But for your trekking trail, for your trekking clientele, that kind of a experience would not be well accepted. So you need to offer something different. So there are different trails starting from these areas also. But generally, what we have included in our itineraries is the trail. You start from Ratnapura and ending in Nalatanya. And I have encircled these places because in Dikoya, Norwood, there are very good accommodations, so you can plan accordingly. Ratnapura is here, so the place you from Ratnapura to the place you start the trail, you need to get your clients, you need to provide transportation. Your DMC will do that, and then they go around. The vehicle will go around and meet your clients here. Yeah. Right. So the Ahaspokuna, I was talking to you about Ahaspokuna Bushwalks camp. So there are plenty of trails around the Bushwalks camp. Ahaspokuna is located in a 30,000 hectare forest, middle of the forest. Middle of this forest, we have a private property called Ahaspokuna, which is amazing. And then from there we can do different trails. You can connect Ahaspokuna from Dikoya, from Alla, from Hatton, all that, and then from there you can go to Gaul in the south. So in an itinerary, this place also falls in beautifully. So there you can do different types of trails, different types of you can do. It's not really multi-day tracks, because we have designed these trails in a way that you start in the morning and come back to the the lodge in the evening. So those are all one-day trails, but there are trails that you can do even for a period of 1 week. Every day you go out and come back. So things like that. And just to show you the experience, or the what you can experience, I'm going to show you a little video clip. But here, what you are seeing is a very hard type of a trekking experience. This is a survival program facilitated by us for a French TV channel, Channel 4. And this is the French version of Running Wild. And after the video, I'll explain a little bit more about it.
Moi, Mike Owen, j'ai décidé de faire le pari fou de partir avec une célébrité dans les mêmes conditions que mes expéditions. Avec un minimum d'équipement nécessaire à la survie, ça va devenir meilleur ami. Et puis ça peut devenir aussi ton plus grand ennemi. Sans rien manger au départ et seulement 1,5 litre d'eau chacun, nous allons parcourir 50 km à pied dans la jungle, ce qui vaut 200 km sur un terrain plat en 5 jours et 4 nuits, de l'une des régions les plus reculées de la planète. À travers cette périple, je vous garantis qu'il va assurément changer et découvrir qu'il est vrai. On y va. J'ai décidé d'emmener Matt Pokora au Sri Lanka, une île située au cœur de l'océan Indien. Yes, papa! C'est dans cette contrée hostile. Les éléphants étaient là il n'y a pas longtemps. Ouais. Que je compte lui transmettre mes techniques afin de survivre à cet enfer vert. On va dormir où personne n'a dormi. On va marcher où personne n'a marché. Matt Pokora l'ignore encore, mais on va devoir affronter la jungle, descendre des parois vertigineuses, construire un radeau pour traverser un lac, dormir à 10 mètres de haut dans les arbres, se dépasser et sauter des cascades énormes. Dans un climat très chaud qui frôle le 100% d'humidité. Je suis trempé comme si je m'étais jeté dans la piscine. Et c'est ma sueur. Notre but sera de retrouver la civilisation. Avec cette expédition, Matt va être confronté à un nouveau mode de vie. Il va vivre des moments très durs et sortir de sa zone de confort. Putain, Mike, s'il te plaît, là, je suis marre. Matt, tu es quelqu'un qui pleure pour chaque pas. On a fait une demi-heure de marche. Accroche-toi maintenant. Physiquement, c'est les 4 jours les plus difficiles de ma vie. Là, je suis désolé, mais humainement, c'est un enfer. Là, je suis dans l'enfer. Il va se heurter à l'hostilité de la nature et au danger. Une chose est sûre, cette expérience risque de le changer à jamais. Je pense que quand tu es quelqu'un qui traverse la jungle et qui sort de la jungle avec tout ce qu'on aura vu, tu peux pas être le même homme. C'est pas possible.
Right. You can hear me, right? Can somebody respond, please?
Yes,
Madam?
Anuruddha,
Yes.
can hear.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So the actually more than the adventure aspect of it, I wanted you to see the terrain, the jungle atmosphere, the beautiful waterfall, all that to say that we have these kind of terrains to do any type of trekking adventures. Of course, what you saw was a hardcore adventure trail where these two guys, these two celebrities survived for 5 nights in this jungle, going from place to place with no, of course, there were support staff, but they themselves survived with all what they could find from the jungles. So if there is anybody who would want to do these kind of treks, hard trails, we can do that. Or anybody who would want to do a film or an adventure show, we could facilitate that. But the same terrain, we have developed beautiful soft to moderate trails as well. So that's the message I want to bring today. Yeah. So the Bhagavan Talava is in the mountains. You are if you are familiar with Adams Peak, you may have heard of this name as well. So the Bhagavan Talava is important because it's a beautiful tea country, and temperature is very soothing especially for trekking. So from there, we have a beautiful trail coming down to Belihuloya from 1,563 meters to 596 meters. We are completely doing downhill. Some part of the trail is bordering the Horn Plains range, and you just come down. And it's a beautiful trail and doable, and it's very good for a day's trail. It takes about 5 hours to 7 hours, depending on your capacity. Yeah, so this is another beautiful example that we can give in terms of A to B trails, which could be done as a day program. Of course, from Belihuloya, we have another trail to go to Ahaspokuna or to Getaways. So you can again connect the expedition or the trail. But even just as a one-day experience, you can give these kind of trails. And if you are here, so if you are in Belhulaya, from there again you can do day's trails, to different locations. And this Devil Staircase is another beautiful trail where we pass Sri Lanka's highest waterfall, Bambarakanda waterfall, and you end up in Horton Plains. You go up, uphill, and of course you can do it you can do downhill as well. And so this is also another example of a day trail. And Hatton-DELL House Trail. If you search Dell House, without typing Sri Lanka, you will find a pole dancing club in UK. So it's a name given by British actually Scottish planters who came here first. And so in Sri Lankans call it Nalatanya, but you can call it Dell House as well. So if your clientele is if they're looking for a long but soft trail, this is ideal trail because you get down in Hatton and you continue the trail to Nalatanya or Dell House over a period of 5 to 6 hours. Going through the tea plantations, gravel roads, and minor tarred tracks, and you end up in your next guest house or the hotel in Nalatanya. So this is that trail actually takes 6.5 hours, but of course you are not climbing. Your terrain is even. And when it comes to Horton Plains, there's this. You go to Horton Plains early in the morning with a lunch pack. You go, you do the loop, and you come back. So that's the usual trail anybody would do. But a trekking client wouldn't like it. So they wouldn't appreciate the number of other clients, other visitors there. Sometimes it becomes crowded. At the same time, that loop is something anybody can do. So the KIRIGALPOTHTHA mountain is the second highest mountain in Sri Lanka. So that's inside National Park. That's inside the Horton Plains National Park. We can do this beautiful trail, giving a very different experience to your client. Manigala, I think somebody's mic is making a bit of a noise. I appreciate if you could mute the mics. Please, yeah, thanks. Yeah, so Manigala Loop is in Knuckles. Our Explorer by Mahora camp is located in this location called Ilukkumbura. And from there, you start the trail. You go up the Manigala, which is Manigala is the popular trekking spot. But of course, you can. Our specialty is that doing the whole thing as a loop, where there is no vehicle transversing involved. You start from the camp, you end up at the camp. So we have developed a beautiful trail, covering that. We are the only people who are doing this. And Singaraja is again, you think you have heard of it, and maybe you are already promoting it for birders. All that is fine, but when it comes to trekking, we have this fantastic trail cutting across Singaraja and going from east to west. We are not, Singaraja, popular entrance is here. Usually what happens is you go in to the forest from here. You do a 6 kilometer, say about 4 kilometers, you go in, you go back on the same road. You are going back on the same road. So the trekking clients won't like it at all. So one of the things that they hate is to basically do the, go backtracking. So they don't like to do that. But at the same time, it's boring. Yeah? So for anybody it would be boring. So the trail we are offering to you is basically cutting across Singaraja rainforest and ending in a place called Lankagama in the southern border or the western border. And from there, you can continue your journey. The vehicle can come around. There are smaller guest houses in that small guest houses in that area. You can check in to one of those lodges, or you can go to the south. Mathura, Tengol. Gaul, any other locations could be accessible from there, from Denia. So this is another example of doing things differently. The
Anuradha, just one question. Are you all taking the Deniaya road to go to south?
I mean, we are ending the trail in Lankagama.
Okay.
From there, Prasanna, you can go. You can do any trail. You can take any road. You can go to the first. You need to reach to Deniaya. From there, you can go to Matara or Tangol or Gaul, anywhere.
Okay, right, fine. Okay, right. No, because the Deniaya road is done now, so it is beautiful actually. I don't know the new road which you have indicated. I don't know how far it is.
Actually, this is not a road, Prasanna. This is it's only a trekking trail. So
it's a trekking
trail. You are trekking to Lankagama through the forest. There is no motorable road. It's just a trekking trail. When you come out of the forest, Lankagama has 1 or 2 small guest houses. And from there, you can house your clients in Lankagama, or you can take them to Deniaya, or even further south.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. So when it comes to multi-day trekking expeditions, before I speak about the options, let me show you a little video too. For you to get a glimpse of what you are into.
Chair! He-Man! Yes. I don't know what to do. Elbow bump? A chest bump? Is he on him?
Sorry about it.
You're all very, very, very special and will stay in our hearts for a long, long, long time. And if anybody needs anything,
Right. You can hear me, right?
Yeah, we can.
Yes,
Yes, Anuruddha.
Yes. Okay. as you would have seen, it's not only about trekking. We are providing a total experience to anybody who would come to Sri Lanka for a trekking expedition, combining the culture, the different ethnic groups, the very good food, the makeshift camps. We are not designing trails, looking at where the hotels are. We are going into a beautiful area and deciding where to stay with the makeshift camps, because our priority is the trekking as well as the experience. It's not the accommodation, of course, it's important, but it's not we are not designing itineraries around where the hotels are. And of course, in the film, you would have seen a girl drinking from a bottle. By the way, that's not alcohol, that's tea. These village workers, when they go to tea plucking, they take their plain tea in glass bottles, probably what their husbands drank in the night. So they put tea into the bottle and take the field. During these trails, these girls saw that and asked for a sip. That's what happened there. And by the way, so that's an experience. What I'm saying is, we are building, we are providing an experience, not just an adventure. Yeah. So this particular trail you saw, or the trail, we have named that trail the legacy of Ibn Battuta, where Ibn Battuta, who came to Sri Lanka, he's a Moroccan explorer. He came to Sri Lanka in 1344, 677 years back. So when he visited, this explorer visited a couple of places, and Adams Peak is one of it. So he started his journey from Gaul and went up to Adams Peak, and we believe, some of the the trail that we are designed has some parts where he also traveled. They're not the entire trail. So we call it the Ibn Battuta Trail. And how it works is that we start from, we can do it either way, but what you saw, we started from the mountains and we came down, but you can start how Ibn Battuta did this expedition as well, starting from Gaul, or starting from south and going upwards as well. So how it works is that, you arrive in Ratnapura, and then you do the climb, the trail that I explained, and you from Ratnapura you go to Dalhouse, and then you do a camp, and then from there you track to Bogawan Talab. I showed Bogawan Talab as well, and then from Bogawan Talab you go to Bilhuloya, and Bilhuloya you go to Ahaspokuna. From Ahaspokuna you go to Udawalava, and from Udawalava you finish the trail, and you go to your next destination in a vehicle. So it's a 9-day or it's a 9-day itinerary, out of which for 6 nights are trekking days. Or we can expand, or we can reduce it the way that our clients want, but the example what you saw is done this way. So there are different experiences, there are different aspects we cover in each day, and most of the days you stay in makeshift camps, and you interact with the clients, you interact with communities, and every place we have our backup vehicles, backup staff to support for any eventuality, so it's a beautiful expedition, beautiful trekking trail. So the one of the questions you may have is that, okay, what I'm showing is a group experience, but can I do it for an FIT client? Yes, you can. Of course, we can cut some of the frills. We can, to do a makeshift camp for just 2 people will be very costly. So we can, compromise a little bit to find certain places where there are basic guest houses, and then we can do similar experiences for FIT clients as well. Right. So moving from there, yeah. Right. So let me show you a couple of examples where we can have you a dedicated trekking clients to come and stay in Sri Lanka. Ahaspokuna Bushos Camp. very special place. So the multi-day accommodation stays would be your accommodation could be a camp like this, fully serviced mobile tent with flushable toilets and so on. But if not, we have another option where they will stay in dome tents, small dome tents, and then of course common showers and toilet facilities. So we have that option as well to facilitate multi-day accommodation clients. And there's another example, Bexan Woods cottage in Belihulloya, where Belihulloya is actually, I would say that's the trekking capital of Sri Lanka. From there, you can do not weeks, months of trekking, when you are stationed there. So you can you can station in one of these places, or one of those accommodation options I gave you, and there are many. So and explore the area. Yeah. So this is something that I wanted to. I want to create the interest. I wanted to create confidence in you that you can promote Sri Lanka as a professional, capable trekking destination for any level of clients. We don't have Himalayas here, but we have very good, beautiful trails with different, I would say, with diversity. It's not just that you are continuously trekking in tea trails or tea amongst tea bushes, or you are not just trekking continuously in paddy fields or something like that. So we have diversity in the terrains. Yeah. So this is So this is the end of the slide presentation. But I kept a good 15 minutes. Say about 10 minutes for me to answer any questions you have on trekking in Sri Lanka. Of course, you can ask me on other aspects also. But since this presentation is dedicated for trekking, let me focus on trekking.
Well, thank you, Anuruddha. So guys, if you all have any questions, I think it's time that you clarify them and clear your doubts.
Okay. Anuruddha, I just have one question.
Yes.
There is a group actually who is working with us right now. Actually, I have been talking to them since couple of months. We have just concluded one. This is a flash sale promoter, and I think I have already got the rates from you also.
Yeah.
Just for them to create their own tour and select the vehicle and just to do a tour.
Yeah.
But this is something differently that I'm looking for, only for the tracking. And I like your Ahaspokuna place, which is very unique actually. And what are the other places close by? Because the people who are staying at Ahaspokuna, and how many excursions that they can do while staying at Ahaspokuna? Going to Ahaspokuna and
give me
stay.
the class. Yeah, President, give me the class for 2 weeks. I'll make sure that they are not bored even for a day. But there are so many things you can do around that area. But of course, realistically, 2 nights, 3 nights, all possible. You can even do Horn Plains trekking from there. You can. It's a day excursion. You can go to Uddawalawe National Park from there. There's a hidden close by. So there is a plenty you can do around Ahaspokuna. And then, of course, there are, if you like that area, of course, Ahaspokuna is a very special place. Price is also at a particular, bandwidth. So there are the accommodations also. Our own, we have Bexan Woods there. And then, if not, you can select any of the other accommodations in and around Belihulloya and Elle also, because there are, other options. But of course, if they are with us, we can definitely put them in Ahaspokuna, Bexan Woods.
Okay, will you be able to create an itinerary for about 8 to 9 nights and send it across to me, right? Including Ahaspokuna for 2 nights and another 2 or 3 places where the customers can do the trekking and trails, right?
Sure.
And
right? Channa?
I am noting down.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, if you can send it across to me, I will just have a chat with them and see, because now we have just finalized one tour with them today. The previous one we did only the safaris. which works really well. And this one also I can just suggest. Our main markets are Hong Kong and USA. But
Sure.
I don't know whether but I don't know the USA clients are so much of keen to do the trekking like a French people, but they are more into wildlife basically. The US clients, Hong
Yes.
Kong clients, of course, I don't have any idea on that whether they are doing the both, except the safaris.
Americans would love, the soft trails, but
Yeah,
maybe not the hard types. But yet,
hard types. Yeah.
combining with wildlife, because
Yes.
bushwalks is something they are very familiar with. In Africa, they do a lot of
Mm,
bushwalks. So,
mm,
when you
yeah.
say bushwalks camp, they relate to a place and they understand what it is. So
Yeah.
we can make sure that they do only soft trails and not the hardcore unless they specify.
Okay, if you are adding the itinerary, don't include Yala because Yala anyway
Yeah, yeah,
in our both programs Yala we have included. So it is better that if you
yeah.
can include Udawalawe.
Yeah, so probably we'll design it in a way that they end up in Udawalawe for the last
Yeah,
night,
yeah.
and they do the trails in the circuit. Probably they will start in Bogantalawa and come down, and then probably stay in or they will stay in Ahaspokuna and do the excursions, and then they go to Udawalawa, something like that. So we'll come up with something for sure.
Okay, right, great.
Hi, Anuruddha, Suranjit here.
Hi, Sanjit.
Just a quick question. Quite a few of the partners that we work with are more interested, I feel, in soft adventure than, a hardcore activity-based tour. And they would probably like, let's say, if they're on a 10-day tour, every 2-3 days, some activity, physical activity that's going to be brought in that I would say is from a activity level perspective, let's say at a low to mid kind of level.
Okay.
For that kind of client, now I looked at the areas in which most of the tracks takes place. That's mainly in the hill country, right?
That's because of the humidity. I mean, the comfort factors, Ranjit. I mean, not that we don't have trails in other areas. We have beautiful trails in Sigiriya. We have beautiful trails in even in the east, for that matter. And in Udawalawe area, Yala area, we have beautiful trails. But practically, unless you are very seasoned in walking for a couple of hours in humidity and in that kind of a temperature, they would find it difficult. So that's why we are always recommending your expeditions or your short trails and your trekking or cycling excursions to be focused in those areas. In cycling is little different because cycling plans wouldn't want to just to get encircled into a particular area. They generally want to do a entire country kind of a experience. So, but for them, what we do is we can start early in the morning and finish cycling by noon, and then rest of the day we keep them at leisure or we do a vehicle transfer. So we can manage cycling in like like that. But it's very important that we look at the comfort factor of the clients as well. That's why we are focused in the mountain. So, but coming back to your point of the comfort, the terrain comfort factor or the agility aspect. Yes, we have soft trails. So what you saw in the movie and all that, everything is not the soft graded ones, but we can design an entire itinerary with soft trails.
Okay. And that would mean even if it means that we need to bring in some activity in the cultural triangle area, and it doesn't. I do understand that that's harder to do, but it might be a shorter duration. It might be maybe 2 hours or 3 hours at the most.
Yes.
And they can do a longer trail in the hill country because it's it's easy.
Very, very correct. And then what happens is, in Sigiriya, in other areas, we can do shorter trails where we can start early in the morning and end up the whole trekking experience by around 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock latest.
That's right. Okay. Because I think a traditional tour operator who's having maybe a slightly older clientele is looking for that kind of experience at the moment. Unless it's a specialist operator. A specialist operator definitely wants something that's more adventure based. But I think the vast majority of our operators that we are currently working with are not specialists. but they want some adventure. They want some activity that's
Okay.
broad. Particularly the European traveler is looking
Yeah.
for that. And
Yeah,
I think that's where we can work together with
Yeah,
Equitable
definitely,
to see how we can incorporate that into some of our.
Yeah. So the Knuckles, so Explorer by Knuckles, Explorer by Mahura Knuckles Camp is something that you can use to, give an experience for those kind of clients. And Ahaspokuna is also ideal. And for a little bit, mid-range clients, Bexan Woods in Belhula is ideal. So, and Singaraja Explorer by Mahura is also very good for, for an experience, for a client who is looking for a, just a day or two, soft experience kind of thing. So there are, of course, there are other providers also who are there are other hotels as well. And you can combine all this and then do something beautiful.
Wonderful. Thanks, Anuruddha.
Thank you.
So do we have questions? So, well, if still, if there aren't any questions, but later on, when you're quoting or including any of this experience to your itineraries, and still, if you come across any doubts, you can either contact us or directly speak to Anuruddha, then we can get those doubts cleared. So, as it seems that there are no more questions, I would like to wrap it up. So thank you so much, Anuruddha, for joining us today and hosting this absolute brilliant, set of experiences that you could offer. I think this is amazing, and we can also going forward include them. I think we already do, but I think it's more helpful now that we know in depth, in detail, what to include and what is to be expected in each and every experience. So until we meet again from our next webinar, I would like to wrap it up. So thank you once again for joining us online, and stay safe, everyone. And thank you so much.
Yeah, I go.
Thanks, Anuruddha.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Anuruddha.
Thank you, Anuruddha.